Hey guys, another day, another view of my living room, another micro view, another view of Bunty. Here she is. Isn't she beautiful? Let me just, yeah, right there. It's the good stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's perfect. Hey, how are we? Oh no, squint. Professional. Professional. I want to talk to you guys about medication for anxiety. So, in the last year that I was in my community psychiatric nursing role, we had a couple of really interesting discoveries when it came to using antidepressants, but not for being depressed, but for anxiety. So my opinion of medication for anxiety previously had been that it was all just pretty unhelpful. So the main type of medication you would typically be offered for anxiety is a medication called propranolol. And forgive me for not knowing just exactly what it's doing in your body, but my understanding of it as a person who has never prescribed it, because I'm not a nurse prescriber, so I don't really have to understand like the exact science behind these medications. But my understanding of it is that it alters your heart rate, which is kind of helping you manage, I guess, one of the kind of physical symptoms of anxiety. So sounds helpful, right? Well, in my opinion, the most helpful thing for anxiety has always been to understand, to have a huge amount of education around your anxiety, what is happening in our bodies when we feel anxious, what is happening in our minds when we feel anxious, what kind of things trigger us, how can we cultivate a lifestyle that keeps us feeling as calm and as settled as we possibly can. And then kind of on top of that, really learning how to work with your own mind so that you can feel as calm as possible. And so that ultimately you can have as much kind of control over your reactions as possible, so that you're not just kind of anxiously flailing through life, having things happen to you. So that's ultimately my goal in years past when I've worked with people with anxiety. And I mean, I say years past, that is absolutely still my goal. But in the last year or so, a couple of the people I was working with, we had really interesting experiences of them trying medication. So this tip came from a colleague via a psychiatrist that suggested using a really low dose of antidepressants. So the antidepressant discussed was fluoxetine, which if by some miracle you're listening to this in America, then you will not know it by that name, because I'm using the medical name for the drug rather than like the brand name that some other people might know it by. I don't even know what the brand name is. But the drug in question is fluoxetine that I'd seen used successfully a number of times. So the dose of fluoxetine is not anywhere near, it's not what you would expect to start on if you were trying to alter your mood because you were low in mood, AKA depressed. It is a smaller dose than that. So it is having a kind of pretty minute impact on your brain chemicals. But for whatever reason, that seemed to be enough to do a huge amount of good to the people that I was working with that had, really quite significant levels of anxiety. I realize I'm talking with my hands a lot. I don't know why. This one's planted, so I think it means that this one's become even more energetic. I'm telling this story with my hands. Oh, yeah, her eyes are closed. I thought maybe she was watching me. Where was I? So really, really small amount of antidepressants for anxiety, and some of the results I saw were absolutely astounding. If you are watching this and you have anxiety, please do not get too excited. If this is something that you would be interested in exploring a little bit further, please don't get too excited, because when I describe it as life-changing for some people, that absolutely doesn't mean it's going to be everybody's experience. And I think it's important that we go into trialing medication for ourselves with quite a balanced view of what it's going to do for us. Because if we go in thinking it's going to absolutely entirely change our lives, then we can experience a lot of disappointment, which is really difficult. So the people that I did see start this medication found that relatively quickly, quite a lot of their anxieties had been soothed. And I am just surmising, but one of the things that I witnessed in people, like what comes along with anxiety, even if you are overall quite a positive person, what comes along with anxiety is essentially your nervous system is telling you that everything is not okay, or it's not going to be okay. So there is like an innate negativity. There's an underlying negativity, like throughout an experience of anxiety. And I think that maybe that is the part that the antidepressant really, really helps to soothe. So then you're just kind of more positively weighted, or in general, everything is just a little bit lifted. So you're not as kind of ground down by the feelings of anxiety. But what people have reported to me was like a huge shift in their physical experiences of anxiety. So that kind of chest crushing, tightness in your throat, fluttering heart, sped up heart rate, butterflies in your tummy, impending sense of doom. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about because you've never experienced it, you are so fortunate. I cannot tell you, you are so fortunate. I, on the other hand, I'm so familiar with these experiences that all I need to do is just list the symptoms and I can feel them. I touched my microphone. All I need to do is talk about a sped up heart rate and my heart is like, duh, 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 duh. Yeah, we know about that. We know about it. Let me just take a second. Maybe we should all take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe we should all just calm down from the list of symptoms I just rattled off there. Okay. So people have reported a change in symptoms like that, which is wonderful. Now the people, and this actually is the same for antidepressants, I would never recommend medical assistance, drug assistance, if somebody isn't also taking huge steps in their lifestyle and the way they work with their own brain to help themselves. Because like I said, just with like going into the medication with unrealistic expectations, it's really dangerous to think that a medication is going to do all the work for you. Actually, you can't just, like with an antidepressant, you can't just lie in bed and take a drug and like be on your phone 24/7 and not do anything healthy and wholesome for yourself and not do anything that boosts your mood and just expect this drug to do it all for you. It just doesn't work that way. You need to be helping it along by also doing things that will boost the happy brain chemicals and will help you feel more settled and more relaxed and yeah, all of those good lifestyle things. My speech is slowing down because I'm just gradually losing my train of thought. Now that I've introduced depression into the conversation, I'm like lost between depression and anxiety. What was I saying? I wouldn't recommend medication to people who aren't trying really, really hard. Because like I said, a medication for anxiety, it is absolutely not the best thing that you can do for your anxiety. The best thing you can do for your anxiety is educate yourself and become really analytical about your own experience. Doing everything you can to like become a more positive person, a more resilient person, someone who likes themselves more. That's hugely helpful if you have anxiety, if you experience anxiety regularly. Kind of believing in yourself, having faith in yourself, all of those are essential. And a medication is just not going to do that for you. So you need to be trying hard with lifestyle changes and other health activities before you should try a medication. I'm about to yawn. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to edit it out. It's real here. It's real. This is all real life. So I think that's pretty much the main point I wanted to make. Oh, so no, there's another point. If you feel that you fit into a category of people who experience kind of chronic anxiety and it impacts your life, but you also know that you try really hard, maybe you are having therapy, maybe you have explored a lot of your anxious thinking, maybe you've made changes like in yesterday's video, changes like no longer consuming true crime. Maybe you've made changes like being on your phone less, walking more, being in silence, all of these things that we know are really, really good to soothe your nervous system, really good for your anxiety levels. If you have done a lot of work in those areas, but you are finding that daily you are still really impacted by feelings of anxiety, then I would absolutely say that you would be a good candidate for this. So this type of medication program is somewhat unusual. I mean, I'm talking about the UK. In fact, Scotland is the only place that I have any nursing experience. But I know that this is not hugely common. A lot of GPs will probably not be aware of this being an option, but you should always be open to having that discussion with your GP anyway. Do a bit of research yourself. Low level antidepressants, small dose antidepressants used for anxiety. Do some research, visit your GP and talk to them about it directly and kind of say, for these reasons, I would like to try this trial of medication. And it's such a small amount that unless you have like pre-existing health conditions, that means you shouldn't be on an antidepressant, there's not really a huge amount of risk in at least trying it, because either it kind of does nothing or it's really helpful. Again, unless you have some kind of allergy to fluoxetine, or you have comorbidity that makes it dangerous for you to take the medication, but your GP will be able to advise you on that. So that's it, guys. That is it. I'm about to go and spend some time outside, and that is my way of dealing with my anxiety. Isn't she precious? Are you guys going to get really, really bored of me talking about her in my videos? Are you? Well, this might not be the channel for you then. See you later. No, please stay. Please stay. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you didn't enjoy this video. I really don't care whether I'm getting actual likes or pity likes, because they really, really help. They really help YouTube videos be liked by the algorithm if I'm getting likes and comments. So please just chuck them my way. Just chuck them my way, even if you hated this video. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.